Welcome.
It's your friends,
April,
Jenna,
Claire,
and Nate.
This is the
Only KADs Podcast.
We're glad you're here.
Let's get to it. Oh my gosh, what's new, guys?
Oh, it's new. Let's see. I'm snowed in Cleveland. If you have any friends in Cleveland, pray for them.
How much do you have? How many inches?
Well, sorry.
I mean, 6 to 10 would be nice, but I'm just wondering what you like.
Shoot.
Is it a good
2 by
soft
7
snow? Is it a soft snow? Is it a hard snow? I mean,
so we got like a foot of snow about a week ago, and it never quite went away. As in, like, my driveway still has probably 2 to 4 inches of ice packed down on it. And now we're supposed to get like a big old blizzard coming this weekend. Also, Cleveland evidently is short on salt. So they're telling people that they're not going to be able to like properly salt all of the roads. It's just going to be like the main highways. So I am going to just be like, holed up in the house for 3 or 4 days, I guess.
Yeah, we're supposed to get similar, not as bad because we're Pittsburgh is not quite as north as Cleveland, but they're calling for 6 to 10 to 12 inches of snow Sunday into Monday. And so everybody's preparing, things like that. My wife may end up having to like stay overnight at her job Sunday to Monday because if nobody else shows up, she's in charge. So she has to be there. So it's gonna be interesting.
Nate, April, what do you buy when you know snow is coming? So you make sure it's in your house.
Soju.
Soju. Yeah.
That tracks.
Nate, how many soju bottles do you have? Because as we've seen from past private experiences as a group with our friends, it's a good 3 that Nate needs to really. That's a fun Nate.
I got 6 bottles currently.
That's only 2 nights.
So I have 1 now, and there's 5 on standby for the remainder of the weekend. I also have other spirits lying about the house, but yeah. So I have 6 bottles of soju.
Okay.
He's prepared.
I have to say, I was dog sitting for a really good friend. And it's very strange to be in someone else's house. You're kind of going through all the pantries looking for, she's like, eat anything in the house. I was like, okay, well, what is in the house, And so it's really interesting to see people's organization skills, all the things. And so I found a back room pantry with just wine bottle after wine bottle, like spirit bottles with like dust. Because I think what is happening is like my friend, she's not a drinker, but she's very influential in our community. And I think people give her wine and she's too polite to be like, I don't drink wine. But what I have to say to her is, girl, what are you doing with all that wine? I mean, you don't have to tell the people that gave it to you that you don't want to drink it, but there's some good Cabernets back there.
It's her wine cellar. She's probably got like $1,000 bottles of wine, and Jenna's there just like drinking them. And she's like, "That was $1,000, Jenna. That's from like 1920."
The label was pretty, and you weren't drinking it.
Gosh. So do you like I know you like reds. Do you like the dry, make you pucker kind of reds?
I like a dry, you can see the legs. It feels like something in your mouth, dry reds. Although I have to say, I'm getting a little bit more into the dry reds that are not as heavy. So like a Syrah, that kind of thing. So, but I love a dry red. And bonus, they don't have a lot of sugar or any sugar at all. So, when you're getting older and you've got the pre-diabetic maybe thing, what I heard someone say, and so I didn't fact check it because it was a convenient theory for me, is that I can just drink as much dry red wine as I want without ruining my health. That is what I heard.
There was that trend, I remember, in like the early 2000s where they were saying like a glass of red wine a day was actually heart healthy or something like that.
Mm-hmm. And I heard that a long time ago, and I'm just sticking with it. I know that science changes, just science change. I mean, the Italians have been doing it for generations, and look, they're doing great, right? There's a thing in Korea where people will ask you kind of what your number is, and it's like how many sojus you can drink in a sitting. Nate, what is it for you? It's
Three.
three. Okay. It's respectable. Claire?
Mhm.
I don't know. I think I've probably drank two before, but I can't recall just drinking because it's always like being mixed with something and just pouring. And usually I'm drinking soju with other people, so it's like they're just keep refilling and refilling and refilling, and I lose track. So when I'm on the floor, then I know that that's my limit, but I don't know what that number is.
Fair. April? What
It depends. If I'm just home by myself, I can probably be happy at one because I'm also like smoking. But if I'm with friends, two or three easily because it's more social. Also, soju goes down so easily.
Yeah.
It's like flavored water.
Soju
And
goes
then you
down real
stand
cheap.
up and you realize it was not water.
Yes. When you're coming into the soju world and you're like American and it's such a cute bottle and you think, wow, this is so nice. A Korean like wine,
It's
you
a
know,
wine cooler.
wine cooler.
Yeah.
And then you realize, oh no, this is not a wine cooler.
But I think if I drink it with
Ooh.
barbecue, I can drink double the amount. There's something
Mm,
about if you're just doing shots in between bites, like I'm sure I can drink more.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I love barbecue.
I don't want to be a buzzkill, pun intended, but the flavored sojus really are for a Western audience. They're a little harder to
Yeah.
find in Korea. And I will say, since we're talking about alcohol and health benefits, plain soju doesn't have sugar in it, and you don't get as much of a hangover risk the next day. So if you want to drink more and be healthier, plain soju.
Yeah,
Follow
I
us at
don't
Only
really
KADs.
get hangovers though. That's what's
Yeah.
crazy. It's like I think we've talked about this before. Like I can drink my three, maybe four bottles of soju, wake up tomorrow and just be like, all right, what are we gonna do today?
But
True
So
Korean.
yeah.
to be fair though, you are coming from being a whiskey drinker
Hmm.
to soju. And just for the record, if you are ever around this man and he has whiskey and he walks up to you and hands you anything that is resembling a drink and he just says drink, don't do it. Don't do it. Because it's
You're
whiskey.
acting like I'm just running around roofing people. Like
You're not
it's a
roofing. No,
drink. It'll be a real drink.
it's
There's nothing
whiskey.
else in it.
It's
That was
whiskey.
Crown. That was
It was
Crown.
whiskey.
Yeah,
Just
Crown.
whiskey.
Well, yeah. How else are you supposed to drink
Just
whiskey?
whiskey. I don't drink whiskey. I ain't built that. I ain't whiskey tough, mate.
I mean, listen, I was at the store and I had like 6 bottles of soju. I had a bottle of vodka, and I was looking at this like new Knob Creek whiskey, and I was
Mm.
like, maybe I should get that as well. But I showed some restraint. I did not get it. Maybe next time. But
My
yeah, I
God,
went
how's
home
your
with my
liver, Nate?
um. I mean, I'm sure it'll tell me whenever it gives up. There'll be signs. I'm not sure.
Besides.
There'll be signs. So, let me ask you, ladies, what's everybody doing for Valentine's Day?
A friend of mine, we just happened to have dinner plans that night on
Okay.
Friday.
Ooh.
So, I
A
mean, I
male
don't know.
friend?
It is a male friend, yes.
Okay.
It's just one of those. I mean, at once upon a time, we were,
Maybe.
maybe, but we're just friends now. We
Okay.
have a meal together once in a while and watch TV together.
Netflix and chill with?
Yeah, but 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 actually Netflix and chill.
Actually, Netflix. I see. All right. Okay. Anybody else have any plans for Valentine's Day?
I want to know if they do any kind of Valentine's Day anything in Vietnam, Claire.
Hmm.
I don't know. This will be my first Valentine's Day here. Last Valentine's Day last year, I was supposed to be here, but I didn't get on my flight, so I was delayed. So I got here after Valentine's Day. So I don't know, but I think it may fall around the same time as Tet, their Lunar New Year. This like it's like their biggest holiday here, and they celebrate for like probably a week. So I'm not sure if it overlaps. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, I'm gonna guess Lunar New Year probably wins out over
Mm,
our Hallmark holiday in the
yeah.
United States.
100%. Yeah.
No,
Now,
Oh,
Korea doesn't really have like Valentine's Day, right? Isn't like Valentine's Day like a US thing that we
yeah,
made up?
but just like McDonald's and Starbucks, it's just infiltrating its way in over here. So you'll see some Valentine's-esque things sometime, like in huge department stores. There's already like little things happening in the Daiso. But yeah, anyone special over there, Claire, that you're hanging out with on Valentine's Day?
Uh, that would be a no.
Oh, okay.
That would be a no. But it's okay. Yeah, I'm not really actively dating, but I'm open to it. So, I mean, I guess I'd be open to it. I don't know. So if anyone listening is coming to Vietnam, we'll be here Valentine's. Reach out. We could do a
get your
Netflix and
shot.
chill.
Shoot your shot. Listen,
Book,
I
book
tried.
a
I've
date
been
with
very,
Claire.
very explicit to you and another friend of ours who I talked to you separately and wanted so badly to be there, to be a love connection. But it's
Oh, I know
okay.
what you're talking about. We
Yeah,
talked about that already. We're
I
like we feel
know.
like
I
we've
talked
been set
about it with
up.
him too. Yeah. Well, I was not beating around the bush with either of you. I was like, listen, you're cute, you're single, I like you, you're good people. Why is this just not happening? But, whatever. Apparently
Why?
there's other factors involved.
Do you think?
Oh God.
I mean, I feel like I'm a good judge of character. Like you two would be a cute couple, just saying.
But what makes you think that? What about our character makes us compatible to be together romantically? I'm
Because
just like, I want to know.
you're both so open and lovely, and I've had like wonderful in-depth like conversations with both of you about
Hmm.
feelings and life, and you're both very attractive. Like, what's the problem?
I think, okay, full transparency here. I was gonna say there wasn't that love connection, but I'm always very open-minded, like I like to get to know a person, right? Like I feel
Yes.
like I think they're called sapiosexual. Like you
Mhm.
have to really have an emotional connection before
Yes.
there's that physical connection. Well, that's me. And so and I like to get to know someone, kind of vet them to see if they have that like emotional depth. And so I think I may have gone too far because I was like question after question. And I think he got a little bit triggered. And he felt maybe interrogated. I'm like, I'm just curious. I'm trying to get to know who you are, blah, blah, blah. And he was like really taken aback. So I'm like, I'm sorry. We won't go there anymore. So it
Ah,
kind of put the ixnay on that.
It's interesting that you said that, Claire, because I have recently learned from some of our male friends that we make it weird. That some
yeah.
things you just are supposed to keep in your head that we think as women
What?
you're just being
No.
like communicative and clear and
Mhm.
like, not trying to leave things up in the air or ambiguous. No, we're making it weird.
Wait, okay, whoa. Time out, time out. And Nate, I want your input on this
Oh,
because we have been told by our male friends and by people we are seeing, and I'll speak personally, I am trying to grow. I am trying to get out of my own way with like my attachment stuff and
mm,
stories I make up in my head. Because I don't know if you know this, Nate, but women make up stories in our heads.
Oh, I'm
And
aware.
so we are
you don't have to
told,
say it like that.
yeah, okay. I didn't like
Listen,
that attitude.
there was a time in which I got in trouble for dreams that my partner was having that I had nothing to do with.
Okay,
I'm sure you
well,
did
Like
somehow.
I somehow was in charge of her dreams, and whatever happened in the dreams was my fault. So
Tracks.
yeah, like I'm just like I'm sorry that that happened in the dream,
What'd you do? What'd you
you
Yeah,
do?
don't
what did
sound
you
very
do?
sincere.
but like what am I supposed to do? You know what I'm saying? Like this because it's all in your head. It's all in your head, and then it comes out in your dreams, and then I get in trouble because it's these mind games that you're playing with yourself. So, all
Well,
right, go to
we'll
your
come
question.
back to that later, but I just want to say, we can't be both ways. We can't be direct and open and not try to like play in our brains and have you say, "Oh, you're saying too much. Keep
Mm.
it in your head." You got to choose one. I mean, what do you
Mm.
men want? What do you men
Yeah.
want?
So here's the thing. I don't know that I might not be the best person to ask because I'm actually the rare person that I'm actually kind of like Claire. I'm asking questions. So when
Oh.
my wife and I first started dating, and it's a little bit of a different situation. I had a son from a previous marriage, and so I actually kind of approached it like a job interview. And it sounds crazy to say, but that's how I started approaching dating after my first divorce. Um, Hopefully my only divorce. But it's like this like to me it was kind of like a job interview because not only do I have myself to worry about, I have my son to worry about. And if I'm going to let you eventually into the life of my son, like I'm going to make sure that you're on the up and up and there's nothing like that I need to worry about. And so quite often like my wife and I, before we got married and while we were in the early stages of dating, it was like playing 36 questions every night on the phone. And it was just like, hey, so what do you think about this? What do you think about that? What do you think about this? What do you think about that? And to her credit, she answered all the questions, and things like that. And so, but yeah, that's kind of how I approach it. Now, as our relationship has evolved, I will say this, that there are times where, yes, don't like you're just doing too much. Like it's not as big of a deal as you think it is.
How dare you?
And
I'm
that's
telling
and
Val.
I think that is the I think that's probably the crux of most of this is that in your brains, this is like the end of the world. The earth is dying and the universe is collapsing upon itself. And for the majority of men, we're just kind of like, yeah, so when's the next football game on? Because I need some soju.
That.
Yeah.
Okay, but how is the question? Like, what? Okay, Jenna and I have talked about this. Like the Zen calm that men have, you can just be in the moment and not worry about anything until you do.
They don't have to worry about it. They have us to worry for them.
And
I think
Well,
married
no,
men,
here's the thing. And I
like
think
they don't
let
worry
me
about
defend
stuff.
the male parts here.
You can.
Let me defend the male parts. I think we worry about different things.
okay.
Oh,
And so, like, just because we're not worried about the same thing that you're worried about doesn't mean that we're not worrying about things,
What do
right?
you
Right.
worry about,
what
Nate?
do you worry about?
Yeah, like,
I think men in general, especially ones in relationship, is oftentimes like, how am I going to provide finances,
mm,
housing, things like that. Like, we worry about very basic like life sustaining things, right? And what that looks like, and then like long term versus maybe less interpersonal things, right? We're worried about like, okay, I got to pay the mortgage, cars, like what's this going to look like later down the road? I don't know. To me, again, I just think that like guys are not caught up in the same type of stuff that women are as far as what we prioritize and what we're worried about. It's not that we're not worrying, but I think we're just worried about different things.
Okay, fair. If Nate's wife is listening to this and it's before Valentine's Day, pause. So, if the surprise is not
oh,
ruined. But Nate, what are you doing for Valentine's Day?
There's the initial thought that Um, I might run a 5K in the morning on
Oh,
Valentine's Day.
I'm sorry.
It's supposed to be cold, so I might not do that. Um, the bigger issue is that, like, because of the weather, it's so hard to plan things. Like
Mhm.
every year, so for the past few years, we've done the Gateway Clipper, and it's been a lovely time. The Gateway Clipper, for those of you who are not familiar, is a boat company that like you go on and you can have dinners and things like that. The Gateway Clipper also will take you from to and from parking to the Steelers games, those type of things. But they always have a Valentine's Day like boat ride and dinner. Here's the problem is that every year we do this, it's freezing cold outside. And so,
Yeah.
yes, it's lovely, it's nice, but like it's also freezing fucking cold outside.
Right.
So, I'm not sure. If anything, probably do some flowers, plants, that type of thing.
Do you
So,
know her favorite flower?
her
Who?
favorite flower is sunflowers.
Okay.
Oh,
But
that's a happy
that's
flower.
yeah, it's a happy flower. Very difficult to procure in the month of February in Western Pennsylvania. So not really something that I'm probably gonna go for. But if anything, some roses, that type of stuff. So and that's the thing too. We've also been together for 10 plus years. So, Valentine's goes up and down, that type of stuff.
Oh, but Nate, we
So,
can't get complacent though. That's where things
No,
start to.
well, that's what I'm saying. Like sometimes it just depends also, like, and you guys probably know this as well, being in long-term relationship. Some holidays, like sometimes you're full go on Valentine's Day, and the next year you're just kind of like, Valentine's Day, yay, type of thing. And then the next year maybe you do something big and extravagant. It ebbs and flows from year to year.
I feel that.
what would you say your love language is?
I think my love language is probably quality time
Mm.
and like just kind of like physical touch, like pat on the shoulder, that type of thing. um
Mhm.
I don't want to get too explicit,
That type of
uh,
thing.
that type of thing. Yes.
That
Yeah, quality time. I'm very much an events driven person. Hey, we're gonna go do this is what we're gonna do, that type of thing. So I'm an events driven person, but
I have thought about this a lot. You won't be surprised to know. In the
words of affirmation.
deep dive analysis of myself over the past 4 years. Because I mean, really, like when my whole world blew apart from, oh my God, holy crap, I'm Korean? What else did I not know about myself? I literally was like, do I really like people? Am I really an extrovert? Do I like wearing the color black? Or is that something I've been conditioned to do? I mean, everything. So I have thought about this at length. And for me, really, truly, it does not matter. I mean, there's some I prefer more than others. It does not matter. I just need someone to show and demonstrate that they give a damn. That can be anything. It can be a meaningful note. It can be a meaningful gift. It doesn't have to be extravagant. It could just be like, hey, this inside joke that proved I was paying attention and was thinking about you. It could be send me a meme, send me a message, come cuddle me, rake my leaves. It doesn't, not a euphemism. It doesn't matter. Just show that you give a damn consistently. Like showing interest, showing curiosity. I would say that my real love language is showing curiosity. Like if I tell you about my day, ask a follow-up question. But I think that this is like a very men are from Mars, women are from Venus. Like I do think that there is a level of if you wanted to tell me, you would just tell me. I don't need to ask. Whereas I
Mm.
think women are just constantly like validating naturally and saying, well, tell me more about that. Is just a trend I've picked up on. And so I think it can be so, I've just had this I'm starting to sweat from having so many middle-aged friends dating right now and having for the first time in a really long time so many male friends and talking about this for the past year. I'm just thinking like how many relationships that could have been great ended in a ball of fire because of a very simple I didn't feel comfortable telling you. I just want you to ask me some more questions.
Mm.
And then them thinking they were doing their best this whole time. Something so simple that in our 20s we didn't have the wherewithal to be aware of it, let alone say it out loud. And we were just like, whatever, that woman's crazy or whatever. He was not interested, moving on. I mean, how many beautiful relationships could have happened, but we just weren't aware. You know what I'm saying? I'm sweating.
So it's funny, Jenna. I would not to not to promote another podcast, but there is a podcast called Diary of a CEO,
Ooh.
and he just had on a conversationalist expert, and the person was wrote a book, and they have this whole acronym talk and things like that. But she talked about how men in general were just not very vulnerable, and so that kind of like leads to male loneliness. We don't know how to make friends because we don't know how to be vulnerable, how to talk about things that we're worried about and our own insecurities and that type of thing. But she also talked about dating and how, more often than not, if you're on a date, one of the best ways to get a second date is to ask follow-up questions. And it was a proven study where they did like a bunch of speed dating, and the more questions that the daters asked, the more likely they were to get a second date. And so it just goes to your point as far as like, yeah, we need to ask more questions. So,
I was thinking as you were talking about dating your current wife, like you were kind of making a joke, like it was a job interview, but there is a thing that if you ask, I mean, it's pop culture maybe, but if you ask these 36 questions
mhm.
to someone, you're more likely to fall in love with them.
She talked about that actually.
Yeah.
She talked about the 36 questions to fall in love.
Hmm.
And she's pulled out 10 questions to fall in like. And so 10 questions to ask somebody if you wanted to generate a friendship and keep the conversation going. But it's based on what you were talking about, questions to fall in love.
I like it. I've also heard about sort of, or this is definitely pop psychology. I don't think this is based in reality, but broad sweeping strokes I have witnessed. And also there is the He's Just Not That Into You book from like the early 2000s or 90s or whatever. So I'm really curious what April thinks in terms of her experiences with dating, and Claire too. There's the kind of a broad sweeping strokes. Um, when men are ready, they're going to
Mm.
find someone because women are always ready. Um, and I think it comes down to personally timing, again, I mean, and that's for everybody. If you're not ready or whatever, you sort of get the relationship that you are ready for. So if you are kind of closed off and a little bit of avoidant, you're going to attract someone who doesn't really want to go deep because you're being avoidant.
100%.
I really believe in that's a thing, but I don't know. I think it's attraction and timing.
Yeah.
It's when I met the person that I'm seeing, I joked with my friends, and I don't think he would care that I said this. This was a couple years ago, and I was like, I met this really hot guy. He needs a couple years to bake. He's
Oh
just
yeah.
not quite, he's just not quite there. And
The
I wasn't either, you know.
It's the taxi
What do you
cab
think?
theory that they talk about on Sex and the City, right? Like they keep their light off, and when they're ready, they'll turn their light on to take a passenger. And we are the passengers, evidently. They might just keep that light off and just be on break, I think was the theory. It's interesting though, because like I've dated older since my divorce, and you would think that age would improve your chances of a man being ready. And I'm here to tell you, ladies, it it don't. Peter Pan is gonna Peter Pan as long as he can. Okay. He's just looking for a Tinkerbell and a Wendy to take care of him, grant his wishes, and feed him.
Or mother him.
Mother him. Yeah. I recently actually said to a man, I'm not trying to raise somebody else's son. And I am not trying to like be, what was it? Oh, I'm not trying to be Captain Save-A-Ho. And he was like, well, what does that mean? And I was like, oh, baby, if you don't know what I mean by that, then that probably means you are the son that needs to be raised or the Save-A-Ho.
That has been true in your experience, April. What
It
about you,
has.
Claire? Like, what do you think?
I 100% agree with April. There's a lot of, we call them man-childs out there, and I have I don't know. Like I've kind of swung from dating. Well, my very first, I'm gonna take it way back to my very first boyfriend. His name is Bubba. Not like Bubba Gum, but he was younger than me. This was in high school, and I would think I was a senior, he was a freshman. So I don't know, but he looked like he was 30. And so, I mean, we had so much fun. I think the thing that I love, well, one thing, I'm very simple. Like, it doesn't take a whole lot, other than just vulnerability and just to open up. But I'm just like, all you gotta do is feed me and tell me I'm pretty, and I'm yours. So it's
Yes.
not that hard. So he used to take me to the movie theaters, and we get a bucket of chicken and a 40 ounce of malt liquor, sneak it in. And I mean, those are like
He was a
some of the best
freshman, and you
dates.
were wait a minute, hold on. He was a freshman in high school, and you
Yes,
were going to the movies with a 40 of malt liquor. I
yes.
just want to make sure we're
I
clarifying.
was a delinquent, Nate. I was a delinquent.
Oh
Oh
God.
Okay,
my gosh, but
listen,
I
no,
had fun.
yeah.
And for I
Have
mean
fun.
all the crazy shit that I've done, I've never been arrested. Knock on wood. So that's like I just want to have fun. I want to connect with someone, but I've started to go the opposite way. The pendulum swung the opposite way. I was like, well, we need just an older man. And I think I was, like you said, Jenna, like we kind of, well, I think we're always, whatever we're missing from our childhood,
Mm.
that that whatever it is that you want the most, you want to be loved, this and that, whatever it is, and you don't get that growing up, you spend your entire adulthood just searching for that. And a lot of times it manifests in relationships and the type of men that I would tend to be attracted towards. So then I went the opposite way, and I kind of had like the dated older men, and that I think was such a different dynamic because there was always like that. Oh, I don't know if it was just older, but also when I started to date white guys, for me, I felt like it was all about like a power shift, a power dynamic, controlling the money, like having to, give me my freedom. And I didn't like that. And I kind of felt like it was another form of colonialism for me. And I'm not saying for all relationships, but that was the way I experienced it. So then I was like, no, 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 that's not going to work for me. So now I'm just open to dating whoever I connect with. And like lately, I've been having a lot of younger guys, like 15, 20 years younger, being attracted to me. And I'm like, I'm here for it. I love that young energy, but then again, I don't want a man child. So you gotta also be emotionally mature. That's also my
Mhm.
requirement. So feed me, tell me I'm pretty, and emotionally mature.
It's not hard. It's not complicated. It's funny. I have heard though that younger men of like the upcoming generation are better. Here's the thing. I don't know that I could date somebody in their 20s. I'm not saying that it is an absolute no, but I would immediately be apprehensive because have you lived enough life yet to be able to have a conversation with me or have enough in common with me? Because I feel like for me, there was a big shift once I hit 30. Because in your 20s, you're like the early 20s, you're still kind of a teenager. And then you start to get like your adult money in your late 20s. And you're just like, fuck yeah. Don't necessarily have all these responsibilities yet, but I'm making good money and I'm still young enough to do stupid shit. And then like your 30s hit and you're like, oh, my hips hurt. So maybe I should start to like not do things that I would need bail money for. Nobody is that.
I agree with you. I agree with you. I think it's both and it's individual. The
Mm,
people in their mid 20s are being raised by people who are about 50, 55-ish now, which is in striking distance from, I mean, that's like our age group. I think someone raised by an Xer is very different than someone raised by a boomer. I'm just going to
mhm.
say it.
Oh yeah.
And so I think it's twofold. The life experience thing is real because there's no substitute for life experience. On the other hand, these are people who might have a little bit more openness to thinking about different issues, maturity, different insights, perspectives that we didn't get until we were kind of high school because of the internet not
Mm,
being as. So I think it's twofold. I will say I'm very hopeful the young Korean adoptees or Chinese adoptees who have non-adoptee partners who I've met, I'm like, oh, this is a different kind of man
yeah.
than my generation. It just is. They are more open, they're more vulnerable. Like I had a client come, both of their kind of second serious relationships, white dude who was like, I'm getting in that spa because I want to experience what you are experiencing, babe. And I was like, I'm like weeping. Like don't mind me. It's my own relationship trauma coming out. So I think it's a thing. And I just want to say for the record, it's us who have to get out of our way because even in my current situation, I was like, this seems like an age gap. I have kids. I've been married. I don't feel worthy. Like this man is so hot. How could he possibly be into me? And just like a job interview, you gotta apply for the job. Don't let them tell you that you're not qualified,
Oh,
right?
yeah. Well, same. Because I'll admit, when I first, like, it just didn't register to me because we met at the gym. He is a very fit man. I am not. I'm trying to be healthier, but like his muscles have muscles. Um, like his arms are very big.
Maybe that translates all over. We don't know yet.
Hmm.
Stay tuned.
One can hope. Um, I was just like, I would totally not be his type. Like he wants some bitch with like a 14-inch waist and abs. No,
You don't know that.
You
You
don't know
don't know
that.
that.
it's true.
Mm-mm.
It's true. You don't know. Just because
Mm.
somebody is in like to that for themselves, it doesn't necessarily mean that that's what they're attracted to.
The last guy I dated, he told me he was into chubby girls. And so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna start eating more Maggie on the way. I was like, I could be that.
I could be a chubby girl.
I've met the man of my dreams. He does not care. He likes him chubby. So get yourself a guy that likes chubby girls, and I'm happy.
Well, I think there is like a thing now where I don't know if it's true or if it's just like, again, a pop culture, but like we're men, okay, I'll say men of a certain age, young men are into the older women.
They
Again, I
like a
could just
cougar.
my algorithm could just be showing me things that are convenient for me. I'm not sure. Nate, what do you think? Do you think if like let's pretend you're 25 right now. Are you into an older woman like
Well,
someone who's
so
40?
so here's the thing is that I think that that's always been a thing. I don't think this is like
Oh,
a new generational thing, right?
okay. Tell us
I
more.
think I think it's always been a thing, right? You hear about, guys having crushes on teachers that they had in high school, college, like that type of thing. Like I don't think it's a new thing. I think with the
Okay.
internet, it becomes a little bit more prevalent and you may see it because of your algorithm and your algorithm wants to satiate you. But I don't think it's a new thing, honestly. I think that it's probably, like I said, you just see it more or that type of thing. I will say that, like, just dating in general, I would be scared. Like, I am happy. I am happy that I am in a loving marriage right now because dating in 2026 is wild. Like I don't know that I would want to if I'm being honest. Like that just it just seems a little crazy at the moment. So yeah, like and I'm not even sure like what I would say or do or I would probably just be a lost puppy wandering, out there type of thing, waiting for somebody to take pity on me because but I feel like that's how most guys are if I'm being honest. Like
Waiting.
that's most men or they're just wandering out there until, somebody comes along and says, "You know what? I'll take care of you." Like that's I'm pretty sure that's how I would be. So,
Yeah,
I
that's pretty accurate. That's how they
I'm
are.
gonna I'm gonna put something out there for our listeners to write in about, because I really do want a broad opinion. Because if I ask my friends, especially my girlfriends, they're going to be like siding with me
Mm.
because they're good friends. But I have friends who would tell me the truth, but also we're women, so we all speak the same language. This is such a men are from Mars, women are from Venus thing. So, okay. So because it's Valentine's Day, I'm going to throw out the scenario that happened to me last Valentine's Day. That doesn't matter anymore because now we're together. But last Valentine's Day, you ready? I'm messaging with this guy. We don't live in the same time zone
Country.
or country. But we have been talking consistently and very clearly friends for a while. And we do a lot of flirtatious, what I perceive to be flirtatious, like flirting. I think it was just that he's a really nice guy and checks in and is kind. So, of course, I took that as, oh, he must be into me, right? Which is a dangerous thing that we can talk about on another episode, especially for people who are adopted and really want people to pay attention to us. Okay, so that aside, I said what I thought was very directly, but y'all listeners, you can tell me. And please write in with how you identify gender-wise so we can see what your opinion is. I said, if you were here right now, I just want to tell you that I'd be asking, or I think I even said, I was pretty direct, like making you take me out for Valentine's Day. And he said, okay, well, you'd have to really drop a really strong hint. And I said, consider this your hint. Like, if you were here, I'd want you to take me out for Valentine's Day. Now, he says that he took that as, well, because I'm not there, this is not a direct thing she's saying, because, like, I'm not there. So she's not telling me she likes me because I can't be there. I want to know if I was being clear in telling him that I liked him by saying, if you were here, I'd want you to take me out for Valentine's Day. And he says, well, you'd need to give me a hint. And I said, consider this your hint. He's saying it wasn't clear. And he still had no idea that I liked him. What is it, Nate? Yes, I do want your opinion.
So this is where the difference between I'll say most men and women is
Okay,
that
tell me.
men are very linear and concrete thinkers. Okay.
Yes,
So, right. So we're very linear and concrete thinkers. So I can understand where he thinks, well, I'm not there. So therefore, this isn't a real scenario. This isn't a real possibility. This isn't a real thing. And this is simply just a hypothetical that could or could not happen. And I'm not really 100% sure on how I should respond. Like, I'm just telling you, because
I'm
here's the
just
thing,
watching
right?
April.
Because
I'm
as
watching
the
April.
guy, as the guy, if I respond too forward, I'm afraid that that might push you away. But I'm also like, we're friends, right? You just said we're friends,
We're
right?
friends. Yes.
So, like, we've established this friendship, and because you're saying something that is a hypothetical and not linear and not like concrete, then like it's not a real thing. So why would I entertain that?
I do see that logic. I do.
Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. Like men, we think very linear, we think very concrete. And so this goes to communicating with us is that if you need to communicate something to us, think very linear and think very concrete. This hypothetical of like, oh, if you were here, we would go out for Valentine's Day. Okay, that could mean anything. We could go out for Valentine's Day as friends because people do that, right? April, you just said I'm having dinner with
No,
somebody
I know.
as a friend and there's nothing there,
I
right?
know.
Oh my gosh. What? Oh, wait, because that doesn't happen. So, right? So
I'm
he could think Jenna just wants to, hang out as friends for Valentine's Day because I'm a lonely person in Jeju and I just need somebody to hang out for me on Valentine's Day. Not that I like you and I want you to take me out and wine and dine me. I'm just telling you, like that's
Yeah,
probably the process.
I appreciate that feedback. What should I have said to make it clear to this man that I wanted his body? What, Claire?
you need to just be as clear. Like, you need to assume that everyone is just super dumb and does not get it unless you tell them straightforward, I like you. I want to be with you. I want to do X to you. Like, you've got to make it clear. And that's what I don't fuck with guys who are not clear communicators. No, I don't want to play games guessing. I do not want to try to interpret whatever it is that you're trying to signal to me. I really like, and I think for me, it's a cultural thing. I mean, I'm putting myself out there saying I pretty much dated all different men of all different cultures. And I know that the ones that I end up gravitating towards or end up being with, where it's easier to be with someone who is like Latino, where they are like they're straight up and they tell you that they like you. They tell you they want you to be their woman. And so for me, there's no guessing. I don't like to guess. So that would be me. If I was a guy, I would just tell you straight up, Jenna, I want you to be my Valentine. That would be me.
Just to sum up for everybody, what we're saying is if you like a man, just sit on his face because that's the only way he's going to get the clear message.
Go over. But
Yes.
not even then sometimes, April, not even
That's
then
true.
sometimes.
That's true. We have a friend that's happened to, and he still did not get the memo.
He didn't understand. Not just him, though. I've talked to another friend, another CAD guy, who I won't be explicit, but while something was going on, he was thinking, I wonder if she likes me. And I said, next time something's happening and you're in this scenario and it's happening, give me a call, tell me what's going on, and I will say, yes, she likes you. Why are we all so insecure and indirect? I don't know.
Now, to be fair, I think with CADs, it is a special kind of like trauma response to not know how to navigate fully in relationships because you don't want to give too much because of abandonment, but you also don't know how to detach because of anxiety. So it's a constant tug of war of like double dutching into smothering and then,
I have a
Yes.
question for all of y'all. Okay, whoever wants to answer it. So, like as April was describing, like I've been there where I have been insecurely attached for many, many, many years. And I'd say just recently, like in the last 10 years, I've been doing the work to become more securely attached, which makes relationships easier in general. But have you ever dated a securely attached person where it feels maybe boring, they're maybe too safe, and and you're used to having chaos and all of the trauma that comes up in relationships? Like, what was that like for you? And did you see it as being secure, or did you just see them as being boring?
I was the problem. I became the
Oh,
problem.
yeah, I'm absolutely the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I was so dysregulated by it being okay
Mhm.
that I thought there has to be something like it's going to implode because it's too good. You communicate, you will listen to me rant for hours about something that is bothering me. This was a long distance relationship too. The man flew me across the country once a month to see his ass. And I was worried that he didn't like me.
Yeah, I
And
definitely
then
believe
you
that. Yeah.
wonder why guys are like, well, she's doing this. Does she like me?
Oh, I loved him. But I was worried, like, but does he really like me though? Does he really care about me?
Mhm.
Yeah, I became the problem. But that relationship honestly helped me tremendously as far as like being okay with things being okay and learning what healthy love looked like. So if you can get through that and still stay together, that's great. But if not, you at least learn the lesson. Kudos to you, Roy.
Shout out Roy.
It does. It feels if you're not so deep, if you're not so deeply trying hard to be humble and open with yourself, to be aware that there are things happening, and you have to just be at a certain point in your life for this to happen, and adore the other person so much that you want desperately to understand where they're coming from and like why they were you have to both be able to recognize when you're being triggered, tell the other person, and the other person has to be like open and adore your ass so much that they want to hear it. And if all of those things are kind of not in place, things implode. I mean, it like this happens and I'm like, oh my gosh, this easily could have gone off the rails like if we were not so willing to do this.
Mm.
But same thing,
Talking
April.
about
Yeah.
talking about triggers, what are some things that maybe, okay, this is a question for Nate. What are some things that your wife would do that might accidentally trigger a core wound, or just what triggers you in general?
I don't know. As far as just kind of things, so not necessarily that she does, but just in general, um, I'm very much a person that, um, like I like to be on time. I like to be early to things. And I'm sure it probably has a weird attachment thing to being abandoned and left on a train and so on and so forth. But I don't like to be late to things. I get like anxiety. I used to get anxiety when people were like late picking me up or going somewhere or meeting me someplace and things like that. And some of that is just me like just working through that, like, because I would run through like crazy scenarios, like, oh, this person doesn't want to be friends with me anymore, or they got into a car wreck, or that type of stuff. And so the idea of punctuality and showing up on time is really important to me. And so there's a there's like a running joke that my wife has where she's like, yeah, we'll probably be there first, and we'll be the only ones there for a little while everybody else shows up. But like, yeah, that's just who I am. It's just like we're gonna be there on time. They said 2 o'clock. We're gonna be there at 2 o'clock. That's type of thing. And so that's just one of my quirks is that I like to be on time, and I get very anxious and troubled when we're running late or behind.
I would like to do a little bit of housekeeping on that note. And I've been wanting to say it for a while. Claire's podcast with Lori, the Empowered Adoptee podcast, I think you talk a lot about attachment wound, like core wounds and attachment things on your podcast. So if you're
Yes.
interested in this topic, please go over wherever you find your podcast and find Claire and Lori's The Empowered Adoptee podcast. The other plug I want to put in is that April and I are comboing an interview that she and I did to talk a lot about when you come into consciousness, should you happen to be in a partnership with a non-adoptee, and what does that look like? And how can we be aware of ourselves and taking our partner along on that journey? So on April's podcast, over on Soul Searching on YouTube at Deep South Koreaning, and on jennaleekim.substack.com, my article for February is called Why Are All the Divorcees Sitting Together? And on that same Substack, Nate is going to be featured. Actually, by the time this comes out, it will already have been out, a Q&A where Nate and I are not talking about relationships, but we're just getting to know Nate a little bit better. And so if anybody is interested in any of that, I wanted to put out some housekeeping. And the last thing I want to say is that if anybody has dating questions or scenarios or things that you just want to talk to us about, please email us at onlykadspod@gmail.com, which is where you can go if you want to respond to, was I clear about the Valentine's Day thing? Nate saying I wasn't. I still think that I was. And if anybody has dating
I think you
questions
were.
or scenarios yeah, April thinks I was. Listener and friend of the show, Kari, wrote in at onlykadspod@gmail.com. Quote, I am sitting here listening to your third episode. You had me crying. Then I was laughing. Then laughing so hard I was crying. I was on the fence about going to KAAN, which is the Korean Adoptee Adoptive Family Network Conference. In 2026, it's going to be in Denver. She says, I was on the fence about going to KAAN, but now I think I want to stay for the hot dog eating contest. Mayor Jenna is right. The podcast is perfect for introverts like myself. And KAD Dad, Nate, is right. $11 for a hot dog that you cannot finish is a good deal. Thanks for the laughs. Thanks, Kari, for writing in. If you write into us, your letter might be read on the show or your question. We're just so glad that y'all were here to listen to us. Y'all, like a Southerner would say, like
Yeah,
April.
thank y'all.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks for tuning in. We love you.
Thanks, everybody. Yay!
All right. That was a good episode, y'all. And I did get asked out by a 33-year-old recently, as in today. So